You don't have to make up with me. We don't have to understand each other. Things are fine the way they are. Hey. I don't want to hurt your feelings. But the truth is, you've never mattered all that much to me.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing my top 5 favorite original characters from Better Call Saul. That being said, warning spoilers for everything up to the season 3 finale of the show, and let's jump right into this. Now, original Better Call Saul characters are only in this show as they were created after Breaking Bad finished. That means that characters such as Gus Fring, Hector Salamanca, and even Saul Goodman aren't on this list, as they are all characters originally from Breaking Bad. Now, you could argue that Jimmy McGill is original to Better Call Saul, but I'd rather leave the main character out of this top 5 as he'll probably get placed in the category of Breaking Bad characters. So at the number 5 spot, I've got to give it to Daniel Wormold, better known as Price. He's quite the interesting reoccurring character, and I've enjoyed scenes with him ever since his very first appearance back in season 1 when he hires Mike as a bodyguard in order to protect him while dealing prescription pills to Nacho Varga. And then watching him return in season 2 with that huge yellow Hummer was hilarious as well, as Mike wouldn't even get in it. He seems like the biggest rookie at everything he's doing, and my favorite moment with Price has to be the Cobbler episode, as Jimmy explains to the detectives a fake story to get them off the hook. The detectives are suspicious as to what Nacho stole from Price's secret cubbyhole under his couch in his house, and so Jimmy makes up the excuse of Price filming a weird secret fetish video where he sits on cobbler pies. I was laughing my ass off during this first viewing of the episode, and it honestly still makes me laugh just thinking about it. And I'm glad that they brought back Price in the newest season, as he was the one who got Nacho the capsules he needed in order to make the faulty pills to switch with Hector's real ones. It was great to see Price's reaction to Nacho calmly sitting in his home as he freaks out right after entering his front door with 1,000 locks on it.
Jesus! What the hell? I mean, what the hell? How'd you get in here?
Relax. I just want to talk.
At our number 4 spot, I've got to give it to Kim Wexler, who is probably the hardest working character on the show. Whenever you see her on screen, she's usually got her nose in a pile of paperwork, but that's not always a good thing. She starts out as one of the litigators at HHM during the first few seasons, but season 3 has focused on her starting up her own practice in the same workplace as Jimmy. So while Jimmy continued to work in elder law alongside her, taking on Misa Verde as a single client, Chuck's vendetta against Jimmy actually complicated everything, causing Kim to defend Jimmy against Chuck, her former boss. This made things not look good with Misa Verde, along with overworking Kim on top of everything else she was already doing. As Kim overworks herself near the end of the season, she takes on another client on top of Misa Verde. During her drive over to meet her new client for an important meeting, she actually nods off and crashes her car, depressingly concluding her story arc this season as she's overworked herself far too much and she could have gotten herself killed. I'm unsure as to what Kim's future motives are, considering her sudden desire to tell Francesca to cancel everything with her clients, but feel free to let me know what you guys think. The actor who plays her is Rhea Seehorn, and I think that she does a great job in this very important supporting role alongside Jimmy McGill himself. I truly believe that Kim is a great match for Jimmy, and the actor just helps it make it that much more believable.
Not alone.
Kim.
Come on, Jimmy, you need me. You can't argue this yourself. You and I both know that, and I'm not gonna let you fight this on your own.
Why would you? Come on. This guy? Seriously?
Let's just call it the fallacy of sunk costs.
At our number 3 spot, we have Howard Hamlet, and holy crap, do I have a lot to say about this guy. First off, let's just mention the fact of how clever of a job the show creators have done developing his character in general. I wouldn't blame you if you disliked him during season 1, but that's only because they intentionally wanted you to view him from Jimmy's perspective. Howard has enabled Chuck more than he'd like to admit, but he only did it to support Chuck out of goodwill. Howard truly wanted Chuck to recover and return to where he once stood, but Chuck's vendetta against Jimmy caused Howard to end his partnership with Chuck due to not being able to trust his decision making anymore. Howard always looked up to Chuck, as Chuck truly helped him aspire to be where he is today, but even Howard had to finally realize during season 3 that he cannot get through to Chuck. He was so shocked when Chuck betrayed him by threatening to bankrupt the firm, and by the end of season 3, I'm pretty sure that Howard wishes that he had never met either of the McGill brothers. After rewatching the show multiple times, I definitely appreciate Howard's character a lot more from the very first episode, and I'm honestly surprised how interested the show has gotten me into his character. I enjoy every moment he's on scene, and I really do want more from his character in season 4.
You've put your needs first, to our detriment.
I don't think that's accurate.
And the moment that I mildly suggest, with empathy and concern, that maybe it's time for you to consider retirement, the first instinct you have is to sue me? To sue the firm? I don't even know. In what world is that anything but the deepest betrayal of everything we worked so hard to accomplish?
So at our number 2 spot, who other than Chuck McGill? Oh boy, where do I even start with this one? Although I absolutely hate him, I do truly appreciate the character for what it is and how it was developed. Chuck has inspired more debates and discussion than I could ever imagine, as a combination of his obscure condition along with his hatred against his brother Jimmy. All in all, Chuck has caused everyone around him to crash down in a downward spiral. Although Chuck has logical reasons to hate Jimmy for his past, it is fully Chuck's fault that Jimmy has continued conning people, at least in my opinion. Jimmy wanted to change for Chuck when he first moved to Albuquerque, and with the support of Chuck, I believe that he actually would have. Chuck's assumption that Jimmy would just revert back to his slip-in Jimmy ways actually caused him to do so. No matter what Jimmy did to support Chuck or prove to him that he's worth giving a chance, Jimmy could never truly win Chuck over, as he is just simply too stubborn, arrogant, and pretentious to ever go back on his word or admit his wrongdoing. Chuck has always hated his brother for being more funny, easygoing, and likable. Although Chuck has always worked his ass off to get where he is, Jimmy has always seemed to be more social and easy to get along with out of the two of them. Chuck's constant disapproval of his brother caused him to also create tension in his marriage with Rebecca, as he was jealous that even Rebecca found Jimmy's company more enjoyable. After driving Rebecca away, he eventually drove Jimmy away as well, as he could not keep up the act of pretending to support him after getting found out that he called Howard way back at the end of season 1 to not hire him at HHM. As I've said previously, Chuck's vendetta against Jimmy also ruined his partnership with Howard, along with ruining HHM's reputation multiple times, along with putting it in serious trouble. What Chuck has done to Howard has been nothing but disrespect and betrayal, and I just really dislike Chuck even more for it. All Chuck was trying to do was be noble, but he let his ego get to him, and he ended up ruining every friendship and relationship around him. Whether it was a family member, a love interest, or a lifelong friend, Chuck has ruined every single important connection in his social life. So with no one else in his life to care for him, along with his condition relapsing, Chuck depressingly takes his life at the end of season 3. They still mention that he could come back in the future with flashbacks, so we'll just have to wait and see what meaningful and logical reasons they'll have to find to include them. Let me know what you guys think about Chuck. Are you part of the Fuck Chuck bandwagon? And at our number 1 spot, I couldn't have given it to anyone other than Nacho Varga. First off, I've been a huge fan of his character ever since his role as Voss from Far Cry 3, so when I saw him in the very first season, I was already excited for his performance. That being said, I have not been let down, as Nacho's character is definitely one of my favorite characters out of everyone in the Breaking Bad universe. He is a very calm and collected criminal that is way more intelligent than one might think. Although he is not a Salamanca himself, he is Tuco's right-hand man, along with Hector's now that Tuco has been locked up. He is a very important position in the cartel, and now his character is set up to so much more now that Season 3 has wrapped up completely. Not only does Nacho have connections to Mike and Hector, he also has Gus catching on to his plans against Hector as well. I really enjoyed the possible chemistry between Mike, Gus, and Nacho next season. The outcome for what may happen to Nacho's character is also a ticking time bomb, considering that he's not in Breaking Bad, and especially considering that Saul Goodman mentions his true first name Ignacio to Walt and Jesse during the early days of Breaking Bad. I have other videos discussing these topics more in depth, but needless to say, the unraveling of Nacho's character has been incredibly interesting throughout the entire show. He starts out with an intense introduction in the second episode, as he's brought Jimmy out to the desert alongside Tuco, leading up to even getting an episode named after him in the first season as well. It wasn't long before I was really wanting more of his character, and I'm glad that they're taking him in the route that they have been, as far as being the reason why Hector Salamanca is in a wheelchair during Breaking Bad.
An actor more espresso?
Now, I'd like to also do full videos focusing on each of these characters in the near future, giving them more time in the spotlight as they have way more depth than a simple top 5 video can contain. So let me know what character you'd like to hear us discuss first on the channel. I really enjoyed making this top 5 as it's my first countdown type video that I've created on the channel, so if you'd like to see more content like this, feel free to let me know as well, or even leave a like on the video as it really does help support it. Subscribe for more Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad content in the near future. But that's pretty much it for this video though, guys. I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
In what world is that anything but the deepest betrayal of everything we worked so hard to accomplish? In what world is that anything but the deepest betrayal of our friendship?
Howard, I could argue that you're the one who betrayed me.
That's bullshit. And you know it. This is pointless.